So we do have a couple of ladies that are coming through here. Don't worry, ladies, you don't have to talk rugby, but are you enjoying the scenery? It has been a long time. COVID-19 had shut us out from sporting activities, but are you enjoying the sunshine and the action today?
Yes, we are. Thank you.
All right, so which team are you supporting today?
Actually, we have friends that are playing, so we just came to see our friends.
Oh, all right. Which side are they playing for?
I think Sables.
Oh, all right. They're playing for the under 20 Sables. All
Yeah,
right.
we also have all Georgians.
All right. You got all Georgians. They are going to be coming up pretty soon. They were in the final last week. Do you think they'll make it to the final this week?
Hopefully.
All right. Hopefully. Have you put money on that?
No, of course not. No.
All right. So confident enough. But thank you so much, ladies.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, so we get into the next Titanic clash. That's Old Hararians taking on Pitbulls, and this is also another huge rival match. We know that Old Hararians have struggled against Pitbulls in quite a number of the tournaments that have been played before. So let's see how this one goes through. So here we go, an early penalty for Pitbulls here from what Old Hararians can say was their own mistake. And we continue to witness the action here, and Old Hararians are making continuous mistakes, and Pitbulls are looking to take advantage. A quick tap and go. Looking a bit fresher here are the Pitbulls, and they are doing things with a sense of urgency here. And I'm sure they will want to make sure that they get the early tries, they make the early inroads. All right, so looking at number 8 here, I'm not so sure what he was trying to do there, but luckily enough for him, they were able to retain possession. So Pitbulls get the ball here, spraying it out wide. And once again, maybe just not making the incisive and correct decision at the time. But here comes the ball. Nigel Tinaro with the ball, a long pass to number 8 here. I don't think anybody is going to stop him, but it looks like Old Hararians have been able to stop him. And now the counter ruck coming through from Old Hararians, but they've been told to let it go. Pitbulls pick it up. Now looking to spread the ball out wide. Can they be able to take advantage? A looping run inside and a missed tackle there. And Pitbulls are able to stretch over. It is try time for the Pitbulls. They now lead 5-0 against Old Hararians. Now, poor tackling there coming through from Chuki, and he should have done a little bit better there, especially considering that it was a 1v1 situation.
Yeah, 1v1 situation. It's either there's no other way. Just take your men down. There's no other way, because if it's on one-on-one, your last line of defense, and 9 out of 10, not 9 out of 10 times, 10 out of 10 times we're expecting you to make that tackle. So yeah, that's what happens. Missed tackle is gonna, if you miss a tackle, then obviously scores are going to be points. Rather, points are going to be scored. Gosh.
Oh yes, most definitely points are going to be scored. So it was a successful conversion, and they are now leading 7-0 are the Pitbulls here. They'll be wanting to get past Old Hararians and maybe try to exact some revenge against the likes of Old Georgians, who unfortunately last week sent them packing out of the tournament. But as the tournament continues to heat up, and of course the sun begins to set on this iconic ground here at Old Georgian Sports Club, we as Sports Extra Zim are catching all the action live and direct here on Facebook. So Old Hararians here now looking to make a fist of this one. They do retain possession, now passing it down the line, and Chuki gets the ball, passes it out. They do have a strong number 18 here who's running. I think the young man here was a little bit tentative to go and tackle, but I think one of the major reasons he did that, he knew the try was coming in, but what he wanted to do was to ensure they were as far out wide as possible so that the drop kick wouldn't go through Sydney.
Yeah, so you see, sometimes it's all about minimizing the damage, and it would be really disappointing if we had let that gentleman to score just under the pose. You know, that could have been an easy 7 points, but now what he has done is just to make sure that he score. You know, sometimes they say that it's forgiven that a man scores on your outside. It means that you would have really worked hard to make sure that you've pushed that defense out wide. And then if they score from the wide out wide, it's okay, because you know I guess 5 points is better than 7.
Oh, yes. 5 points definitely better than 7, and that's exactly what has happened. The kick wasn't able to come back inside. So Pitbulls are still leading by 7 points to 5 against Old Hararians. So it shows that this is another tense and tight encounter that they are going to need to manage, the Pitbulls, if they want to make it into the finals. But let's not forget that quite a number of these youngsters are also pretty much of the under 20 age. Some of them coming through from high school. Some of them didn't play rugby the entire year last year. A poor take by Pitbulls there and allowing Old Hararians to take it. And then there was a takedown by Pitbulls, and now they have a man out wide, and it is going to be try time again for Old Hararians. So Old Hararians clearly now have the measure of Pitbulls at the moment, and they are now leading 10 points to 7, even though the margin of leading is still very small, Sydney.
Yeah, but great work from the Marasta Old Hararians. They are really working hard. Look, this is one of the teams that we're one of the favorites, if even today as we started off this tournament. And I'm sure they are really living up to those expectations. But it would be interesting to see, obviously, just because they won these matches, they are already in the knockout phase. So it will be interesting how they're going to fare against the likes of Harare Sports Club and the youngsters, the high performance of under 20 Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, the high performance of under 20. We'll see if the youngsters were able to make it through to the next rounds. But here comes Old Hararians, a big kick here, high-hanging kick. Oh, well taken, but that should definitely be a penalty straight up, and there's no question about it. There's a likelihood he will be going into the sin bin because of the way that they clashed. But once again, Precious Pazani saying, I will not have any of that. You have to calm yourself down, even if you're going for the contestation. If you know that you have lost, then leave it out. So luckily for him, it doesn't go into the sin bin, and Pitbulls will continue and push forward. And so here goes Pitbulls for a quick tap and go. Nigel Tinarwo there looking to go for the side steps, and he didn't need to do that. That was actually a poor passage of play by Nigel Tinarwo, but good pickup play coming through as well. And as Old Hararians are looking to contest here, I'm not so sure how the referee or how Precious Pazani let that one go. Here comes another opportunity. A couple of side steps, but it is going to be try time in the corner once again. And Old Hararians are now stretching their lead 15 points to 7. Now look, the Pitbulls are not yet out of this one. They can score like 2 tries and they can be done and dusted with it. But the issue will actually be here, Sydney. How does Pitbulls pick themselves up from what Old Hararians have been able to do? Because Old Hararians, just like Old Georgians, are contesting at the restart of play. They're making sure they're right there. They're putting in the tackles. They aren't missing them. And they're capitalizing on mistakes by Pitbulls. Now, unfortunately, that's another poor kick. And that signals halftime in this encounter between Pitbulls and Old Hararians. And the scoreline is 15 points to 7 in favor of Old Hararians. All right, welcome back to the second half of this enthralling encounter where Old Hararians are leading by 15 points to 7 against the Pitbulls. Pitbulls here now looking to make amends, but Pitbulls here looking like as if they've been left for dead. Can they make the cross-cover tackle before they go in for the try? Looking to contest here, but Old Hararians, clearly they are firmly in control. Ball being swung out wide. They do have a huge overlap here. I don't think Pitbulls will be able to cover in time, but it looks like they do have a man. They do have a man, but cutting back inside, tackles are being missed here by Pitbulls. I'm not so sure what is happening. Pitbulls usually are very good in terms of their tackling. Maybe let's call it fatigue, especially towards the end of the day. A huge pass coming outside, but again, mistimed there by the number 12 of Old Hararians. Well, it looks like it's trying to cut back inside, and Pitbulls are caught in an offside position. That is what saves Old Hararians. They try to go for it, a little bit of a shimmy, and Chuki goes over the line.
It's really fascinating me that most of our players are cutting back on the outside, especially even on the outside there's space. I don't know who's telling them that works? You know, the reason why you work really hard to get those passes out wide is you want to exploit that outside space. You know, so I guess those are some of the habits that the coaches need to address. You know, and they really need to make sure that it starts from the grassroots, because this is club level, and most of these players, they've been selected for cheetahs or they've been in cheetah setup, so it's really difficult. I don't know why they think that the space is on the inside. The space is always on the outside.
Yeah, space should always be on the outside, and with the lead now stretching to 22 points to 7, you just kind of feel that Old Hararians clearly have sealed this one. Pitbulls are not looking like scoring. They're making far too many mistakes, knocking the ball forward, and this one will obviously be given by Precious Pazani, who is obviously one of our top female referees on the African continent, who's doing a sterling job, and we always know that she keeps tabs on these matches. So 22 points to 7 in the lead for Old Hararians, as a couple of substitutions are being made both for Pitbulls as well as Old Hararians. So number 3 is strolling off there, also, we're seeing a young man who's come through with luminous boots. Hopefully, they are quick enough in order to get Pitbulls back into the match. But as it stands, the scrum is going to be reset again, as Precious Pazani is not happy with the way that it was going initially. So here's the scrum being reset again and being followed through all the way. Number 9 ready to feed the ball into the scrum. And here we go, taken on the blind side, a bit of a grubber through. Can Old Hararians make it inside? A nice pickup there by Nigel Tinaro. It does have some men on the outside. That looks like a high tackle coming right round the throat, and luckily for him, there is no yellow card. So here comes the Pitbulls again, still trailing 22-7. Trying to go for the grubber in between, but I don't think there's much pace because of being tired. You know how it has been a long day for both Pitbulls as well as Old Hararians, and Pitbulls here looking to counter the ruck, trying to counter, and unfortunately not rolling away from the tackle. And oh well, here we have it. It is another penalty in favor of Old Hararians, who will be smiling all day. And apparently they were listening to Sydney during the commentary, and they kick for touch.
Yes, that's what you need to do. You know, you save a lot of energy because you're trying to play from your half to the other half, and maybe looking to score is going to wear you out. So you should be looking to kick that ball for touch, you know, gain a few yards and maybe score off a set piece, because it also cut out your work in half.
Oh yes, it definitely would cut the work rate. A successful line out here for Old Hararians. A nice good low take. And here comes Chuki here. He throws the ball backwards. There's an opportunity here, but it looks like Old Hararians have relieved some pressure by going for a looping run. And here comes Old Hararians looking to push. And finally, the tackle puts him out of play. And Pitbulls here should be able to get the line out. But once again, it's too little too late, as they are trailing 22 points to 7. So let's see whether they can muster up a good line out. The line out comes here, spreads the ball. Can they get it out wide? And here comes the ball. It decides to take the gap. He's broken through a couple of tackles. He does have support. He decides to go on the outside. Number 9 is going to go for him. There's a cross-cover tackle, a poor decision in my view. He tries to throw the ball backwards. It bounces forwards. It favors Pitbulls, and there's a protection of the ball. But the question is, who's coming in for support? Come on, Pitbulls. That is a slow. But luckily for them, it was Old Hararians who are unable to defend, and they go for a quick tap, and they're over the whitewash, and they reduce the arrears to 22 points to 12, with the drop kick yet to come. Well, we usually know the Pitbulls as the comeback kings. The question is, will they be the kings of their own destiny here and come back into this match? I don't think they've got much time. The drop kick comes through. It's not good enough. And so it is 22 points to 12 with an injury here for one of the Old Hararians players. We are coming through to the halfway line, looking for the restart. Not much time that's left, but that injury seems not looking too good, and we may need the medics to come onto the field of play and carry the player off. But once again, Sydney, just looking at these young players from Pitbulls, certainly a lot of lessons have to be drawn and have to be learned in such a time as this. And, you know, as we have been talking about it, looking on the bench of Pitbulls, we aren't seeing any sign of the likes of Bob Mahari or Jeff Madaki. It looks like maybe they are also beginning to release the reins in terms of coaching and going into more technical director roles.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, technical director, you know, what he or she does is just to, yes, in a way, he's a coach, but the guys who be hands-on are the coaches. His coach and the deputy, and there's been an attempt by a Pitbull player trying to tackle a man without the ball, and Precious is spotted in the signal for a long arm penalty. As all the Hararians, unfortunately, she wants it to be taken on the mark, and there's a all the Hararians player who's down, and so Zia wait for Precious to just signal the resumption of play here at Old Georgian Sports Club. And here comes OH. They are it's looking like they're going to score off this passage of play. And great try being scored there by Hararians.
Yeah, great try being scored there. 27 points to 12 now. Clearly this one is done and dusted, especially with the buzzer having gone. We are just waiting for the drop kick to come through, which will determine whether it goes to 29 points to 12 or if it remains at 27 points to 12. But clearly, after this drop kick is taken, it will be match over. All right, so a couple of handshakes that are coming around. The drop kick comes through, high, mighty, and it's good. It actually goes through. So it is 29 points to 12 for Old Hararians. So well done. Congratulations to Old Hararians. Once again, dominating Pitbulls here. And that is a fantastic victory for them. So it is a full-time action here. It is a big win for Old Hararians, and they march on with a 29 points to 12 victory over the Pitbulls.